Hello everyone, I welcome you all into another episode of the Fantasy FansTalk. And I hope you're all doing well, even after shock from City Everton being postponed, some players going under rotation. We just all have to understand, for City Everton it's been COVID and that's nature, there's nothing we can do about that. And for those going under rotation, it's just been a day of resting, and managers all have to understand that, the coaches are doing the best for their team, not for the best of us. So let's just keep hoping that our benches can produce better so they can easily be substituted into our teams. So to start with, today we are going to look at game week 18. Game week 18 having only 5 games. That's Sheffield, Newcastle, Wolves, Everton, Man City, Brighton, Aston Villa, Tottenham, and Arsenal, Crystal Palace. So when you look at that, we have 2 ways we can go about this. One, there are maybe other managers who had already planned ahead of game week 18. By the time maybe they got into game week 15, 16, 17, you already have plans for game week 18. That's been the best. But then there are also other managers who felt like they needed Mohamed Salah, they needed Bruno Fernandes, they needed Grealish, they needed some of those good players at the moment, Jimmy Vardy. But right now, when you look at game week 18, they aren't going to play. So what do? Probably and if you've already used your chips, maybe for example free hit, because in game week 18, I would say it's best to use the free hit. It's best if at all you have your free hit, you can activate it. Pick players that are going to play for game week 18 only, because there are even good fixtures there. When you look at Man City, Brighton, Man City can get you points. When you look at Aston Villa, Tottenham, it will depend on how those 2 teams will get into game week 18, but you can get points there. Arsenal, when you looked at it against Chelsea, probably they got back. Probably they are still going to be the same. We shall see by the time we end this game week. But also Crystal Palace, Arsenal can get you points there. Newcastle, Sheffield, you can get points. You can get points here and there. So, but if you get into game week 18 and you've already used your free hit, this is what I would advise you on doing. Maybe before, now that we are already into game week 16, make sure by the time you buy players in game week 17, you include players that are going to play in game week 18. That will be the first step. By the time you get into game week 18, probably you can make and you already have 7 players and you have 1 transfer to make. Then you can bring in more 2 players. I know a lot of managers are going to have few players playing for game week 18. But if you can make 10 players out of 11, it will be very nice. 9 out of 11, it will be very good. So, but if you have your free hit, you can activate it and, select the players that you feel like for the game week 18. Harry Kane, Son, they can all get you points. Grealish can get you points. The defense in the City, if at all Aston Villa doesn't step up, they can all get you points. So when you look at game week 19 has 2 options. Because in game week 19, you also have to look at teams that are going to have 2 matches played in the same game week. And as you know, for a double game week, it means if you select a player in say 1 match, Fulham, Chelsea, and then that same player has to play Leicester, Chelsea, all those points will be totaled up and given to you. That would be very nice. So I would advise you to look at teams like Chelsea, teams that are going to have double game weeks in game week 19. Chelsea, West Ham, Leicester, Man U, Liverpool, Leeds United, Burnley, Fulham, West Brom, and then Southampton. If you've already used your free hit for game week 18, then you can use you can use another chip, because this is another advantage where you can put to use one of your chips. For example, bench boost. You can use a bench boost, whereby those players, even those on the bench, their points will be doubled for the game week. Yeah. Or for those who have their triple captain, you can activate your triple captain, put it on a player that you're going to see, because now here Mohamed Salah is going to play Man U and Bruno Fernandes is going to play Liverpool. So that is one other thing that you also have to think about. Then we have Man U playing Fulham and then Mohamed Salah playing Burnley. So Mane, the same thing. If you can maybe use your triple captain on one of those two guys, you can get a lot of points. Perhaps when he gets 10 points in game week, in the first half of the game week, and then he gets 12 points in the second half of the game week, those are 22 points multiplied by 3, and I'm telling you, you will be up there. So all managers, I can say, by the time you reach game week 19, make sure you've already made up your mind. If you still have your free hit, use it on game week 18. If you feel like you want to use it on game week 19, it's still okay. But if you still feel like you've already used all these two chips, you can use your bench boost. Use all your players for the first round of the game week. Then the second round of the game week, you still use all your players. So I would advise you on using either a bench boost or triple captain for game week 19, and game week 18 you can use your free hit for those who still have those chips. But if you reach there and you still don't have any of these chips, these are the players that you have to. These are the teams that you have to get into: Chelsea, West Ham, Leicester, Man U, Liverpool, Leeds, Burnley, Fulham, West Brom, and Southampton. Get players like Vardy, get players like Bamford, Chris Wood, Marshall, because we'll be having all these players I'm mentioning will be having double game weeks. Marshall, Rashford, Sané, Mane, Mohamed Salah, Bruno Fernandes, Sushek, Bowen from West Ham, Robertson, Trent Arnold, Justin, Mendy, Criswell, Dallas. All these players are going to have double game weeks. So make sure you have such players on your team. Include them on your team by the time you reach game week 19. Or make sure by the time you get into game week 18, you've already made up your mind for game week 19. So I just wanted to create that awareness before we get there, and I hope all you guys look at that, think of that before you get into game week 17. So such that you have to plan ahead. If you can keep your transfer from game week 17 and then 18, then you can bring in two players and you get another negative. That would be good. You can now survive for game week 18, because you really have to be strategic for these 2 game weeks. So with that said, I just wish you well. Let's see how game week 16 is ending, and we shall have an analysis, and together with how we shall be lining up for game week 17. All right.